Hey everybody, Jennifer McCulloch here, and I have another episode of Beautiful Conversations. So if you haven't previously watched one of my videos, a little bit about them and why I started them is I have found that I'm always sitting with just really great people having incredible conversations. And it's the thing that kind of unites us as a community. It makes us realize like we're kind of all in this together. We're not a whole lot different, and there's always something that we can learn from one another and gain from one another. And so that's what kind of inspired me to start doing these. So I have a few, you can see them on my YouTube channel, but today I'm excited because I have my very good friend, Brad Camphouse here. And this man has done so many great things to help me in my life, and I appreciate his friendship so much. So I'll let him kind of give just a little intro about your life, who you are, and
yeah. I mean, I'll talk for a long time about myself. So, Brad Camphouse, the bearded realtor here in Idle Falls, and yeah, we met through Women's Council of Realtors.
Yeah. So you've been selling real estate since
2016 now,
2016,
so 9 years, almost 10 years.
Okay. So he had not been in real estate very long when we first met. I believe we met in 2008. 17? Yeah,
I was only in like a year
okay.
by then. When I don't even remember if it was you or maybe Kathy that came and asked me if I would be involved in Women's Council, and then it very quickly turned into, will you be the president of Southeast Idaho?
How that happens, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to have Brad here today because he has just been such a huge influence in my life and an inspiration, I should say, in my life. He is an incredible human being. And so today we're going to talk about affirmations as kind of our word for this conversation, because this man absolutely lives affirmations. I mean,
yeah.
Let's just start there. Let's talk a little bit about, so yeah, you were in real estate for a year, and I know you have a great story about how
and I hadn't started affirmations at that point even yet. That was something that was taught to me through our old broker, Zach Martin. So, and he used to teach what they call ninja sales. And inside of ninja sales, they have the daily affirmations, setting goals, and moving through that in a way to reprogram your brain, because your brain is usually set for being a Debbie Downer, right? We always look at the negative. We always look at like, why shouldn't we do something versus why should we do it? It's always like, I don't have the money right now, or I'll put it off, or whatever the case may be. So when you're looking for something bigger and better, you have to set these goals, and then you have to set a daily affirmation to get you to that goal, to reprogram your brain to start looking for the opportunities that will present themselves, which they're all around us. We just have to find them.
Well, it's the whole saying where your mind goes, your energy flows, right? Or
that's exactly right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you're such a great example of this, because I think it is easy to just set kind of like an excuse, or we can rationalize, like sometimes we just don't even realize the possibilities that are out there for us because it's just been outside of we have these limiting beliefs, right? Whether it's because of how we were raised or our experiences in life. And the thing I love with your story is you were kind of working like a let's just say minimum wage type job. Like you were doing fine in life, but you wanted more. And so talk a little bit about that.
So I was a delivery driver. I actually have framed recently my W-2 from 2015 because I made $32,000 that year.
This is only 10 years ago.
Yeah,
like
10
not
years
that long ago.
Yeah, and I framed that because I look back at it, and I mean, that's a good wage, that's a good living, right? Like as a delivery driver, like I didn't have any real background other than construction, and it was delivering cabinet components. And so I got to go and meet all of these different cabinet companies throughout all of the valley. And I loved it. It was fun to go and talk to them. So. Yeah, it was fun. And I always thought, well, maybe I should try something like real estate where I could do better for myself. excuse me, but I just didn't know what that even entailed.
Yeah.
And it was Chalmers Haas who I actually was talking to in the original portion of that, because I was like, well, should I get in? He's like, I don't know if I would do it if I were you, right? And I ended up just jumping and doing it, and within a year was like, holy moly, this is way better. Working for myself, of course, the hours got more.
Yeah,
like,
everybody thinks there's going to be this freedom when you, or flexibility when you're self-employed, but that's not the case.
No, it's very much not the case. Like people that are like, oh, I put in 50 hours. I was like, well, yeah, I did that on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like,
especially at the beginning when you're like, I have nobody coming in.
Right, and people think that real estate's going to be easy money, and it kind of is at the very, very first, when you've got an aunt or an uncle or your mom or your grandma or someone that's close in your personal sphere that wants to help you out and will throw you a listing or throw you a buy. Something to that effect. And that was my case too. I sold back to back to back houses, like 3 or 4 in a row, and had made more money in the first 45 days.
Oh, you see, I think your story in that regard is a little bit opposite of most. Like, I mean, first of all, the national statistics for what agents make is actually very minimal. I think it's under $50,000 a year.
Right.
But I think most of the time, people getting started, that's the hardest part, is not having those transactions and just trying to, make a living.
And I was afraid. So I think that's part of what was driving me. Yep. We had a young family. My wife was still working full time at the ICU in Ermac, and I was just scared of not having anything. So, and again, that's part of tapping into that fear versus abundance. How do you tap into that and force yourself? Well, you have to put yourself in a sticky situation and then grow out of it, and just have I don't want to call it necessarily bravery.
Yeah. Well, it is bravery. I mean, you have to have a faith, right? You have to have a trust that
that you're going to do it.
Yeah, you're going to succeed. And I love, so you have a story about when you started doing affirmations, and it was saying, I want to make X amount a year.
120,000.
And you would just say, I can't remember if you wrote it down or you.
So the psychology behind this is, and they teach this in the Ninja Sales, is your reticular activating system, the RAS portion of your brain.
I love that you always remember that, because I always remember that it's RAS, but I never remember what it stands for.
Right. Well, it's because I was studying it and really trying to bring that into my life and learn how to use it. And when it worked, and I saw it work, I was all in.
It's undeniable, right?
Yeah, it's undeniable that this works. I have to continue to do it.
So, just for anyone who's like, "What is he talking about?" RAS, basically, think about when you're considering buying a new car, right?
Yep. And
you're gonna get a new Toyota, let's say, and all of a sudden, everywhere you go, you just start seeing, Toyotas. They're everywhere, right? And that's that whole thing, that where your mind goes, your energy flows. So it's kind of that law of attraction. You're starting to notice things. You're creating more awareness is really what it is. It's not just some magic voodoo where these cars are appearing, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just
them.
your awareness becomes more attuned.
And in that book, the term that they use is what you focus on expands.
Yes. Yeah.
So good, bad, or indifferent, what you focus on will expand. If you're focusing on negative things and you're like, poor me, I can't make it, I can't do this, those things are going to manifest with you. If you're focusing on what's next step, how do I get better, that's what you're going to start doing. And then you're going to see the opportunities to do that. And so I was writing down, you have to make it so that your brain, let me back up. That in that book, your subconscious brain cannot take a joke. So if you say, I'm fat, you're going to be fat. If you say, I'm poor, you're going to be poor.
Yeah, if you keep putting these thoughts in your head.
So you have to make it like it's already happening. I enjoy X. right?
So for you, it was I enjoy making $120,000 a year.
Yeah, and it was I enjoy earning $120,000 a year, and that was what I wrote down. And so you have to, in order to put that into your brain to make it a habit, you have to do it for a minimum of 40 days.
And would you do it like daily, multiple times a day?
Every day, every morning. So before you do anything, I put a tablet next to my bed with a pen, and I would get up, and before I would go get coffee, before I would brush my teeth, before I would do anything, because it literally only takes like 3 to 5 minutes. You write it down 25 times, and then I wrote down 2 things that I was thankful for. And the 2 things that I was thankful for had to change every day. So it's hard when you get into day 5 or day 20. You can only say, well, I'm thankful for the weather. I'm thankful for, my house. I'm thankful for my wife. I'm thankful for my kids. You can only say those things so many times before it's like, now you have to think about what you're actually thankful for.
Yeah.
And that also starts your day off in a way that is in thankfulness and gratitude, and also setting a goal. I enjoy earning this. Write it down 25 times, 2 things that you're thankful for before you do anything.
Yeah. Well, the thing I love about that is it reminds you that you're not, well, what it does is you're not focusing on the things you don't have yet. It's focusing on the things you do have and living in that present, right? And it doesn't mean we all want to acquire different things and other things, but it does keep you focused on what is in front of you.
Right. And then it's like, wow, but that's such a big goal, right? That's the other thing, is you need to set a goal that seems like it's out of reach.
Yeah.
And the way you do that is you have to kind of go through your mind and say, okay, well, I need this amount of money to, if we're talking about the money portion of it, I need this amount of money to live. I need this amount of money if I wanted to go on vacations, to drive the car I want, et cetera, et cetera. And you write all of that down, and whatever that is, well, then you say, triple it.
Yeah.
Triple that number. And then people are, oh, I can't do that. Well, that's the subconscious portion of your brain that's turning down your goal.
Yeah.
And that's what you're trying to change, is that subconscious portion of you that shuts that down. Like, I can't reach $1 million. I can't reach $3 million, because people think, well, I make $32,000 a year. How am I ever going to?
Yeah.
And that's the point. You got to flip that off. The way you flip that off is through a daily affirmation, because once you're saying, I enjoy doing it, now your subconscious brain is saying, you're already doing it.
Yeah.
So now when you're driving around, same as looking for a new car, and you see it everywhere, you see the opportunities.
Yeah.
And the opportunity that presented itself for me was, I was working in a model home for a builder here in Ottawa Falls, and was writing those affirmations. I was talking about it all the time.
Yeah.
And then he found out that I have a construction background. He found out that I'm good at making systems. And it was less than a month, and he's like, I need you to start going on ride-alongs with me to the different construction sites and give me your opinion on XYZ throughout everything. Not just be sitting in the model home as a realtor selling the houses, but I want you to get involved in everything. So of course I did, and we were driving around, and he just was blown away at all of the things that I was telling him. Like, oh, we could do this. And he goes, I want you to be the CEO of my company. Okay. And he says, what is that going to cost me? And guess what my answer was?
The $120,000 a year.
I didn't even hesitate. $120,000 a year. Done. Spit.
Oh my gosh,
handshake.
I love that.
And it happened.
That's so cool.
And I was less than 6 months into doing affirmations, and I found the opportunity. It presented itself, right?
The thing I love about that is, like, I think we get caught up in the how, right? I mean, I'm notorious for this. Like, I might have an idea, and it's like, but I have no idea how. We don't know what we don't know. And it's like, you weren't sitting there thinking, oh, I'll be a CEO of this company, or, I mean, I think that's the greatest point to that story, too, is just putting it out there and recognizing when you're changing and shifting your mindset and your energy around you, that opportunities will come to you and things that like you never would have thought of or considered, right? And then of course you still have, I mean, you can't just sit there and go, oh, I wish I would win the lottery every day and then sit on your butt and never go buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you have to be proactive about things, but I love that. I mean, it's just such a great example.
Right. And it's the action. It's the action of doing it. And it's exactly the same, like you said, about the car. Until you decide you want the new Toyota, right? Your mind has shifted now to, I want that.
Yeah.
And then you started not even really looking for it, but your mind is looking for it. And so as you're driving down the road, all of a sudden, boom, that one.
Yeah. Like, I love that. It speaks to me.
It just happened. I'm not necessarily at the car lot looking for them.
Yeah.
But they are in the world, and I'm going to find them. Same with, and it doesn't matter about if it's $120,000 a year, or if it's I want to lose 50 pounds, or if it's that's why I put any X item in there that is your goal, your affirmation that you want to get to. You have to change your mindset because that is what's most important.
Well, when so a good example would be, I mean, because it's not always just about the money, right? So I know for me, right before we had met, I had gone through like terrible, like just an awful divorce, and I was pretty much starting over financially. I mean, I was coming through depression, all the things, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you have two choices. You just live in that space, or you go, I need to do something different. And so that was the beginning of my journey with doing affirmations, because it was literally a fake it till you make it. I mean, every morning I'd get up and just be like, I would read, I'm trying to remember my list now because it's been a while, but you know, just like, I am happy and healthy and today's going to be a good day. I mean, I would just start with like something basic like that.
Right. And
it was crazy how after a few months of doing this, and like different people would just all of a sudden come into my life that have an impact. And one day, you know, you just wake up and go, I don't feel depressed anymore. Like, I actually am happy. I'm not faking this. And it just can start with those small things, whether it's a relationship with a spouse or something, right? Like, if you're always focused on the negative part and what you're unhappy about, that's what's going to continue to thrive. Whereas if you can change that around, start thinking about all the things you love about your relationship and that person, and you focus on that nonstop, then
it makes me so happy for you, because I remember driving to Boise for that, and we had this conversation 4 hours there and 4 hours back.
Yeah.
Right?
So funny.
It was just
Brad and I did not know each other. Like we had met, but we weren't friends at the time. We didn't know each other. We took this trip to Boise for a leadership event, and so we had 4 hours in the car together, and we just had the best conversation. And I was just recently starting to date someone new who's now my husband, and it was we just really bonded and connected, and
right. It was fantastic.
And on that note, I have to tell everyone how it's still, I share this with people all the time because I'll never forget it. The relationship advice you had given me at that point in time, and I live by it like all the time, and I share it with people all the time. But you guys, this is a funny story. If my husband watches this, he doesn't watch these, so it'll be fine. But I'll get a kick out of it. But I remember I was meeting him at a little spot downtown, and I was there for drinks with friends, and he met us, and we were leaving, and it was kind of dark, and he said, "Do you want me to walk you to your car?" I'm an independent woman, and I was like, "No, I got this, it's fine." He's like, "Are you sure? I'm happy to walk you to your car." And I'm like, "No, it's fine." And so, so he didn't. He respected my wishes, and I'm walking to my car, and it's kind of dark, and I start feeling a little scared and nervous, and I was like, why didn't he just, walk me to my car? Like, he should have just done this. That would have been the gentleman thing to do. And it was like in that moment I realized how silly it was what I was saying, because it's like, look, he offered. You're the one who said no. But it was what you said to me about it, where it was really think about what you want, because if you aren't willing to uh, tell somebody what it is you really want. So me just going, I actually do want you to walk me to my car. I do want you to be a gentleman. I like, if you open the door for me. And then all of a sudden 3 years goes by or 5 years goes by and I'm frustrated because he never walks me to my car or he never opens the door for me. But I've gone all this time and haven't said anything. I'm changing the game.
Yeah.
Right? Like that person's not, and we all do this. I mean, if you think about it, everybody has done it with a family member or friends where we just kind of cave and, we don't really say how we feel about something. But I have never forgotten that. And I live by it every time he and I are in a new situation and I stop and think, like, what do I really want here? Because it's up to me to make this decision and then express that, right?
I also remember when you were talking about how you had like a little box of stuff from the old relationship that you were trying to figure out what to do with and things. I was like, it's okay to let go of that stuff, right?
That's right. I forgot about that.
Okay to just say that's over. I have to move on. I read or I saw a video or something about this, and this is kind of sad a little bit, but it's about a flood that happened, and this boy gets his foot stuck in a grate and he can't get out, and there's people down there trying to help him. They can't get it out, and the boy ends up drowning.
Oh my God.
And I know that's sad, right? But the guy that was talking about, I can't even remember who it was now. Anyway, he was like, I'd have told him to cut it off, cut my foot off, because yes, I'm going to have to give something up.
Yeah.
But I'm going to live to fight another day. And I'm going to live to be in the future. Yes, I'm going to be a little bit slower and I'm going to have to learn how to use my legs without a foot or prosthetic or whatever. But I'm going to be fighting in the future. And having that mentality of it's okay to let go of something, even if it's something very near and dear to you like a foot, right? It would have saved the life.
I love that.
So it is a sad story that the little boy drowned, but I'd have told him to cut my foot off.
The moral, let something go. Well, and it goes back to when we're talking about affirmations, like letting go of our limiting beliefs, letting go of, maybe we were raised in a poor environment or a super negative environment, right? Just letting that go and realizing that you have so much control over your own life and you have the power to change it. I mean, we have both done it, and I see people all the time do it, and it's such an amazing thing when you experience the power of that and really realize how much control and power you have within yourself to change your life.
Abundance over scarcity.
Yes.
That's it. And you have to make it positive. If you're focusing and your affirmation is a negative thing, like I enjoy letting go of the hate in my life. Excuse me. That's a bad affirmation. In the fact that you're focusing on hate.
Gotcha.
Right? No, I enjoy loving people in my life.
Yeah.
Right? That is going to by default make you let go of some sort of hate that you have or something.
Yeah, so thinking about the words that you're actually using. And
Sit down and think about it before you start writing it down. And it goes back to the practice of the monetary side of things where, well, I'm going to figure out how much I need, how much I make, and then triple it and make it a very hard thing for me to achieve. If your hard thing is loving people, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. I enjoy loving people.
Yeah.
It could be something as simple as that. And then 2 things that you're thankful for, right? Thankfulness, gratefulness.
And I would say twice a day, because sometimes you need that. It takes time, and it's a daily practice. And I mean, case in point, let's fast forward a little bit, because I came to Brad. I mean, we were doing this leadership stuff together, and it was great, and learned so much, and we remained friends. And I came to Brad, what was this, a year ago, and because his real estate career is now taken off in other ways, and you're developing, you're doing all these great things. And I know it hasn't been an easy road, and you've worked hard to get there, but also that, it is an inspiration, because to see where you've come and where you've gone and the way you're able to support, your family and extended family is incredible. And so I found myself in this spot of going, I'm kind of at a, you know, you hit plateaus sometimes, and I'd kind of hit this plateau, and I'm unmotivated, and my husband and I were thinking about, you know, oh, we'd love to have a place like in Arizona or somewhere, but I'm just like, wow, that doesn't make, you know, I can't do that financially, like that just doesn't work. And I sat down with Brad for coffee one day and said, what are you doing? Like, you're just killing it. And the first thing you said to me was, you have a scarcity mindset. You need to start doing affirmations. And here it is, like, I know this. I've used it in my life, but for whatever reason, I had just gotten to a point where I was in my flow and I wasn't doing it anymore.
Right.
And you just like set the record straight, kind of, you know, he didn't physically slap me, but it was like this slap in the face, like, hello, wake up.
Right. And that's the thing, like, and sometimes people don't realize I get into the same scarcity mindset still sometimes.
Yeah.
Because when I'm looking at a development now versus just making $120,000 a year, well, now we're going to invest $1.2 million.
Like, now my numbers are
Holy smokes, that's scary.
Yeah.
Right? And people say that to me, like, how are you doing so many different projects and balancing it all? And well, sometimes I'm not. Right? I am human.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And my wife will attest. She'll be like, sometimes he's a jerk. Like, he's got to get over himself.
We're
too.
not perfect. Like, nobody's perfect. And what do they say? You should never meet your idols or whatever, because you'll realize, like, they're just a human being who make all the, you know, they can be a shit show just like the rest of us.
It's
Sometimes
so true.
we have days that are good.
Yeah. And I even, like, my daughter, she always is like, and in her phone, makes me a little emotional, says my hero. And I was like, I don't even feel like I'm worthy to be some kind of hero like that, right? But she looks up to me, and this is a fun story too. Again, it almost hits me in the feels. But my youngest daughter was having issues with, and it's just like 6th grade drama with girls, right?
But still,
And
it's her life.
It's her life, and one of the girls was upset because she wasn't on the phone long enough or giving her attention that she was wanting, right? And then she had to get off the phone because we were having dinner, so the phone call ended abruptly. Anyway, the 2 girls that were on the call were like, well, you were rude. Well, that hurt Willow's feelings, right? And so Willow didn't come to me. She went to her older sister. And they're in the basement, and she goes down and talks to Zoe and says, this happened, how do I handle that? And she goes, you know who's going to be someone that you need to talk to about this? Go up and talk to Dad. He has really good advice about things like this.
Yeah.
So then Willow comes upstairs and pokes her head in the bedroom, right? And I'm in bed, watching TV, getting ready to go sleep, and she's like, hey, can I talk to you about something? She's 12, right?
Yeah.
Like, 100%, absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? So she told me about this whole thing, and I said, you need to understand, and it will make you very powerful when you understand that people in general want a handful of things. They want to be loved, they want to be recognized, they want to be heard, and they want to be rewarded. Maybe not in that order, but they want to be heard first and foremost. Yeah. So your friends felt like they weren't being heard. And even though you're upset and they have said that you were rude to them, maybe that's true in the fact that you weren't listening. So I want you to think through this process again on the next time that it happens. Apologize to them and say, I hear you. I understand that you felt like I was rude to you. I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. Let's move forward. Yeah. I want to be friends. Yeah. And move forward through it. If they keep hammering on it, just rinse and repeat, right? I hear you, and walk through the same process. What you're going to find is that when you listen to people and you make them feel heard and loved, and then you reward them for that, everything is going to become much, much smoother in a drama-filled world, right? A drama-filled life.
What a great lesson. I mean, because it'd be so easy for you to roll your eyes and go, really like third world problems over here, you know?
Yeah.
And be like, oh, they're just being dumb and, you know, kind of poo-poo it.
Just
like,
dumb girls.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Wash it off. No, use this as a growing mark because we grow through adversity.
Yeah.
Always, right? We will always grow through these adversity moments, right?
Story.
Same with my older daughter. When she has problems and she comes to me and she's crying, you know, whether it's a boy or whether it's anything, I always tell her, I'm going to let you make this is my advice, but I'm also going to give you the freedom to make your decision. If you want to go on a date with this boy, if you want to kiss this boy, whatever
Even
the
though I'm sure you're
situation
like,
was, right? And I am, and I'm like, oh, I don't. And this was before she's 16 now, but she was like 14 when we first had this conversation. I was like, I don't think you should have a boyfriend. I think you're too young. It's going to end up, you're going to get hurt, whatever. I'm going to let you make your own decision. And then when you come home, know that home is your safe spot. And you can always come and talk to us about this because I want you to go through these times now because I only got you for another 3 or 4 years before you're going to have to go out in life and deal with it yourself. So
I love that.
Go ahead and make your decision. And she ended up saying, yes, I want to be your girlfriend. And it lasted like 2 weeks. Next thing you know, she's at home and she's bawling. Dad, I'm never going to get over this. Oh, it destroyed me. And I just held her. It's okay. It's all right. Things are going to be fine. We'll just focus on tomorrow. Focus on being better. And we'll grow through it. It'll be fine. 2 weeks after that, Dad, I don't know how I got over this, but I'm over it. And boys are stupid. Anyway, and then you know what I'm saying? She's 14. And I never said, I told you so.
Yeah.
I let her make her decision. I let her go through the adversity. I was there for her on the backside of it when I knew it was going to be bad anyway.
Yeah.
But, I mean, of course, you're never going to let your kids or anybody fail to the point of not being able to come back from it. But you can give them options to make decisions. And then let's start some daily affirmations on how to be better for the next time, right? And of course, my kids have a hard time with it, right? And
well, I think that's probably typical. I mean,
everybody
adults,
does.
we have a hard time sometimes with it, right?
But then it's good to have a dad or an accountability partner, right? When you're getting ready to do daily affirmations, because once you're 25, 30 days in, you're like, I don't feel like doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you're trying to reset your brain. You need someone else that you could text or talk to. And for a while, we were doing that as accountability partners, and we'd have to text it, take a picture of it with the new date, with the new down there, so you couldn't just proving that you did it, right? And say, here it is. So much so that we were putting money on it, right? So this was me and Nicole Hill in the very beginning, when she was with the group real estate as well. And we were putting $50. If you missed a day of being an accountability partner on daily affirmations, you missed one day, it's $50.
Get in the game.
And there was times that I forgot or didn't do it or whatever. She's like, pay up. So then, of course, I make it fun. And I went and got $50 in pennies, like stacks and boxes of pennies.
It doesn't, you can have fun with this, right? Like,
absolutely.
I love that you are taking that approach with your kids, because what a beautiful life lesson. I mean, we all want to have autonomy in our life. And I think what's cool about that is most kids, they don't. We kind of have to do what our parents tell us or whatever, right? And I love that you're teaching them autonomy at an early age, and that they're learning those like coping mechanisms, because all through our lives we're going to have things that we have to overcome and work through, and you're giving them the tools to do that. And it may seem like they're like, right now, but one day they're going to go, wow, like it's going to click, right?
It shapes them.
It's going to totally do that.
It totally shapes them at a very young, 12 is pretty young to have to try and learn about listening to someone else first before giving your own response or being upset or whatever. And even today, I still do it, right? Yeah. Everybody still does this. Yeah. We get emotional, especially in sticky situations, especially in real estate, where people are spending lots and lots of money, and people get emotional and get upset and they get mad. Yeah. And it's a matter of how are we dealing with that on a daily basis? Well, we have to listen to them first.
And you're also removing victim mentality that is easy to have, like, oh, woe is me, poor me, right? And going, wait a minute, I have power in how I feel and in what my next actions are and what I do. And so that's so.
And to bring that conversation full circle, it's exactly what we're talking about. It's your decision, right? You can decide to be scarcity.
Yeah.
And that's usually our humans' default setting, which sucks, but
well,
it is.
You've gone from, like, so me coming out of that, just that depression and financial crisis and all the things, there's still this, little thing in the back of your mind, like you're terrified of that ever happening again. So here I was in this situation of the idea of doing something new and scary that was big financially for me. And what pops up, right? Those past feelings and fears come in. And so for you to sit down and say, yeah, you're just living in scarcity. And
I knew immediately too when you
I
started
know,
talking.
it was so funny. And I have to tell you what was so cool. So I started doing that. I got back into it every single day, and I did it morning and night. Now, the gratitude part I've been doing for a long time, so that was easy, and I always do that because it keeps me going.
Right.
But I wasn't doing affirmations. So every morning and every night, I had about 10 things that I written out that I would just read out loud morning and night. And honestly, sometimes during the day as I was driving, I'd just say it even in my head. So one of the things in this particular case was, I can afford a second home. Money comes naturally and easily to me. I am, I trust the process of life and know that, my decisions are good. Or something, like I had a series of them. And I did this every day. And we met, so I think you and I had met, I want to say it was like last summer or maybe it was early fall when we had that conversation. And I kept doing it. Yeah. Fast forward. So this year in the spring, my husband and I pulled the trigger and we bought a second home. And then the stars aligned and we had some good friends who were happening, to be moving there, and they were going to rent it from us for a while. So we didn't even have to really worry about what we were going to do in the off time. And I mean, it was just like, you guys, you can't make this stuff up. Like when you live it and it works. It's like amazing to me. Like I had no idea how this was going to happen. I didn't have enough money in the bank at the time to do it. And, we made a plan and we just were like, all right, I'm going to trust this process.
So you want me to scratch your scarcity again?
Yeah.
Why don't you have 30?
Well, I know. That's so funny because that's another thing I have to overcome because as a realtor especially, I always kind of beat myself up and compare myself to all these other amazing agents who have all these rental properties and stuff, and I don't. But then I have to remind myself, I just started over, pretty much in life not that long ago, and since then I have accomplished, quite a bit, and obviously, built a new home, and
which is beautiful on the river.
It's
awesome.
Yeah. I did all these things, right? And so I have to remind myself of that, and also what my personal goals are, because sometimes it's like, I don't know that my goal is to own rental properties. Right. I actually think there's some other things I'd rather do, and so, then you have to get away from that comparison.
And that's awesome. Like you have to know yourself, right? And that's the part of the sitting down and figuring out what you're going to write out, right? Because I even find myself, I have got so many irons in the fire and I've started businesses and then had to scratch it. 6 months in, lost $14,000. It's like, no, I got to stop this. Yeah. No is an acceptable answer sometimes, right? And it's not for everybody. Like being a landlord is hard, right? Which is why we have property managers too,
some
right?
people can't, manage it. I mean, it's just too much.
It causes a lot of stress. And then building big developments. Some people, that's not for everybody, right? When you've got millions of dollars floating out there between banks and private money people and land and all this stuff that's built up, it's very, very scary. At least at first was for me. Yeah. But it was
unknown territory too, right? So you're still learning and growing
100%.
and each step of the way, I think that's the biggest point is it never just ends. You never just go, I've arrived. There's always going to be some new thing to overcome or a new life challenge, and like you said before, it could be as small as relationships or just us getting through the day,
Right.
or changing your life financially. I mean, this applies in every aspect.
And I think like you have to start with a baby step, and I think Rick taught us this, right? Where you have to break the big goal down into much smaller obtainable goals, and then even break it down further into the attainable goals that are quarterly, and then break it down into a monthly goal that helps you achieve the quarterly goal, that helps you achieve the bigger goal, and then down into a daily thing like an affirmation, right? But it doesn't have to be, it's a daily task that you've got to complete to then get to the first little goal. And it's the comparison of trying to go up a ladder, and if the ladder you reach the top of 100-foot ladder and they're 1 foot at a time, that's easy. Everybody can take those little 1 foot, 100 little baby steps. But if there's only 3 rungs and they're 25 feet apart, to
That's
get to the top, you can't even jump that high, right? You've got to have something else that's going to pick you up and put you there, or it's much more difficult. And most people look at it like, well, there's a 100-foot ladder. My first step is 25 feet up. I'll never make it, and so I quit. And so they jump and jump and jump and jump, and they try, but they never make it. Instead of breaking it down and adding these little baby steps that almost kind of seem like you're not really doing anything. There's that, if you could break it down that easy. Just so, another example of this is we're moving right now. I just built myself a new house, right?
So exciting.
And it seems like we've got so much to do as far as making the other house. And everybody's like, why don't you pay somebody to just do it? I don't know, because we lived there for 10 years and there's a little bit of emotions that are attached to that. So we're in there painting and fixing walls, and there's all these little things that have to be done. And I had to remind myself, I'm not going to do this all in one day. Otherwise, I'll kill myself. I'll sit there and work 20 hours a day and not ever feel like I've accomplished anything. Versus yesterday, my wife and I went and we painted 1 bedroom, right? And we sat together, we talked,
so it was
we listened
time
to music,
together,
right?
And,
and it works out when you break it down. And we're going to reach now. We have to fix the fence, fix a couple pieces of siding today. So we have little steps that we're going to take. By next Friday, we'll be completely done. We'll have everything moved to the new house. I hung blinds yesterday, right? So that's 1 little step. And we actually wrote it all down this morning. The list is gigantic.
But then you just slowly start chipping away. And I love when you say, like, you have to give yourself grace. I mean, you have to give yourself grace because everybody's life's different. Everybody's abilities are different. Everybody's emotional capabilities are different. And so you really do have to break it down for yourself, but just starting small with your mindset, starting with the people that you are talking to and surrounding yourself with. Because if I could have called up somebody who could have commiserated with me in the sense of, why would you spend the money to do that? And who wants to be a landlord? And, like, you can find both ends of the spectrum, but finding the people that are going to help lift you up, towards the goals that you have and that you want to achieve. And it's baby steps. I wanted to give a shout out because you mentioned his name. So both of us worked with Rick Gray, who is a real estate coach and now a dear friend of both of ours, and just a great person.
Almost 1,000 ice baths.
Something like that. He's amazing. We love him dearly. So thanks for all his wisdom. But anyway, well, I love it, and I love you, and I appreciate you so much. And affirmations, guys. Do you have any last minute?
Nope, baby steps, and it's action. It's all about the actionable events that you take. We can sit here and talk about it all day until you start doing something.
There's no try. There's only do. Right? Like you either you do or you don't, and you make it happen.
Just gotta go for it.
All right, awesome. Well, good luck. Thanks. We'd love to hear from you and hear your stories if you want to share. Thanks for watching.